welcome to the Trinity Force Podcast. Yo, it's that Triforce cast beaming straight to your home. Grab a beer so we know Pone ain't drinking alone. Send an email, a quick tweet, just pick up the phone. Leave a message at the beep if you're a creep, watch your tone. Discuss the meta game, patch notes, whatever helps your stats most. Obi-Pone Kenobi is your last hope to snatch gold. So grab your headphones and join in the fun. We'll try and force in some jokes and some cringeworthy puns. Yo, we can make it together, people. Trinity Force Podcast. These boys are second to none. Now that's the end of the intro. It's time we begun.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 780 of the Trinity Force Podcast. Jeez, we're at 780 of these. Christ. I am your host, as always, N.A. Eric, and we're talking all things patch 12.17, which is pretty sizable, so hopefully this won't be an insanely long episode. There's systems changes, buffs, nerfs. It's all focused at Worlds, and we'll get into all of that, as well as one specific buff that Fenrir is very excited to talk about, which we will allow him to channel his energy about. But before we get into any of that, guys, how you doing? Fenrir, football started, and we've been talking in the Discord about how excited you are. You're excited that football started.
Yes, I'm in fact so excited that I'm about to jump out of my chair.
Yep. So, as we can see, you're a Chiefs fan, or at least wearing Chiefs garb. Have you always been a Chiefs fan?
I mean, I'm from Missouri. It's just kind of by connection.
Gotcha. Are they on the Missouri or the Kansas side of Kansas City?
Technically speaking, they are the Kansas City, Kansas Chiefs, but we claim them as ours. So.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I guess what would if you lived in Missouri and weren't a Chiefs fan, what would be the closest team that what other teams do people in that state support, or is it like deep Chiefs country there?
I mean, some people you can be like a Bears fan just because of Chicago.
Sure.
Be like the Titans from Tennessee. I mean, Missouri is kind of weird because it's just like so centralized that any direction there's a closer team, other than the Chiefs.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Cool. And we were talking a bit before. You're doing a bunch of fantasy football. I know that's. Are you satisfied with? I guess I was gonna say the draft, but you're doing many teams. So are you satisfied with your drafts, plural?
So like my ones that are important, yeah, I'm pretty excited about my team. I do a bunch of drafts, mostly just to get ready and prepared for the ones that actually matter.
Gotcha. Oh, so you did mock drafts?
No, I joined real leagues, so there's still people that have stakes. Because if you do mock drafts, it's just kind of pointless.
Right, because if it works the same as baseball, because I do fantasy baseball, then there's rating, there's a number rating assigned to each person, and then the computer will just, if someone's not there, they auto draft them, they will auto select the next highest one. So if you're just doing a mock draft, you're just going to pick what you want, the computer's going to pick boom, boom, boom right down the line. Is that how it would work as well?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they just draft ADP, average draft position. I mean, they don't draft certain players, they just draft the next best player.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, doesn't simulate the real deal very well.
Okay. Gotcha.
I guess depending on also your league too, difficulty of your league.
What's the format? Because I know that I played in one once and was not very attentive to it, but I think it was head-to-head matchup. But is that the format that you're doing in most of yours? Are there different ones?
Yeah, they're all head-to-head, and then most leagues have separate divisions, so you'll have if it's a 10-team league, you'll have 5 teams in this division, 5 teams in this division. Then they play each other, and I think it's at the end of the year, it's bracketed out just like a normal championship playoff would go.
Gotcha. Okay. And doing paid leagues, or are these all free? Okay. What's the highest dollar amount you could win from one individual league? What's the most you could win from the ones you've entered?
Just from one of the leagues, the max is 200.
Okay.
You don't really win a whole lot of money on fantasy football leagues. You win more off of daily fantasy and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Okay. And so to win 200, how much does someone have to put in at the start? $30 or something?
Oh, we do $50 buy-in.
Oh wow. Okay.
And then so we don't just have winners. First, second place gets money. First place gets most of it. Second place gets their money back. But then we also do this thing where, like, if you score the most points in the week, you get $10.
Oh,
We did that
So,
last
like,
my last.
it just, like, incentivizes if you have high-scoring teams, you still get a little something at the end of the year.
gotcha. That's pretty cool. I like
That
that.
is cool.
Yeah, it incentivizes people to not just like, oh, I'll just like not care about this matchup because I have a bunch of injured people that are coming back in 2 weeks. I'll just throw it then to maybe drop and try and get those extra $10 or something. Okay, I like that. Yeah, because like right on my last week or the last 2 weeks on my fantasy baseball, I just kind of like tanked the matchups because I didn't care because I have a couple people. I have one person, Tatis, who's suspended because he was out the whole year. He's been on my DL and now he's suspended, so he has to sit on my bench. He can't even occupy a DL spot now. And
You
then,
got those PEDs.
yep, he got caught for PEDs, which is so unfortunate. He's like 21 and he's so talented. He doesn't need it, but whatever. At least he
That's
did.
a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, and we
Yeah.
don't need to delve into any of that at all. But yeah. Then I had a few other people who were injured. Like Verlander was on my team, and he got injured. And shit, Michael Kopech got injured as well. He was someone who I picked up because someone else got injured, and Patrick Wisdom got injured, and so it was just like, all right, they're going to be on the DL for like 10 or 15 days, whatever. I'll just throw the next 2 weeks. I don't care. So I wouldn't win the $10 there, but that's a really cool idea. I like that. Okay. Um, everything going else good in life? League going well.
Yeah, just working a bunch. I've played a little bit of ranked. I've actually kind of got on a Smurf lately because I went on like a massive losing streak on my main.
Oh yikes!
So I'm just trying to figure out if it's me or not. I mean, you really gotta, after losing 23 in a row, you really got to take some self-reflection.
Nah,
And
24, 24 in a row. I'd say yes. 23.
Yeah.
No, it's my teammates. It's not. It was them.
But based on my Smurf, it's not me. And I'm Smurfing support, so
Yeah. Okay. I played with a Smurf last night who it was top laner. And I'm pretty sure he was a Smurf because through 30 games he had a 73% win rate, which that could be luck, but that's pretty unlikely, especially because he was like high gold at the time. It's probably a new account that he got up, but and he was playing with MMR wise of like Plat 2, Plat 1 people, so I'm pretty sure it was a Smurf. But he did B1 Renekton and proceeded to get stomped in lane by a Warwick top, which I'm sure that's a rough matchup for sure, but don't like god, it was bad. And then he would like I'd be down ganking bot, like in the process of about to gank bot. I was playing Fiddlesticks. I don't have a lot of early agency, and then he would be like pinging like I need help, and I'm about to gank bottom. You see, I can't help you right now. You're on your own. They're dropping Herald. You're about to die, and you're gonna lose your turret. Sorry, just accept it. I can't get there in time. But he'd like spam ping and stuff. Like he didn't. I don't know. He didn't quite understand that I'm not there to serve at his every beck and whim. Anyways, I just wanted to vent about
for
that.
sure.
So.
Well, like on my main, the most frustrating thing was like, out of those 23 games that I lost, I think 18 or more were autofill 80 carries. And it's just,
Oh man.
I mean, it is so extremely difficult to win bot lane when the other two in the other lane are both playing their main roles.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I guess how often do you? I guess in that streak you got autofilled a lot, but generally, if you're queuing support bot, do you get bot a decent amount or?
I put support fill every game.
Oh, okay. So there you go then.
And if I don't play support, I get put in jungle.
Gotcha.
90% of the time.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
It's really strange that it doesn't autofill me 80 carry, which I'm fine with because I can't play 80 carry. I'm terrible at it. But
oh, you were saying the other people were autofilled ADC, right? Okay.
yeah, my ADC.
I thought you were saying you were autofilled there. Sorry, no, I
No.
totally misunderstood that. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah,
It's just so hard to win a lane that's duo when
yeah, it is.
the person you're with doesn't have the best idea of what they're supposed to be doing, and then the enemy knows exactly what they should be doing.
Yeah, for sure. When I get put in bot lane, unless I'm playing a mage, I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I can play like a couple of supports, but if I'm the ADC, it's either Ezreal or I can't play like ADCs against them. I don't understand how it all. Like I understand how to like move and left click and shit, but like it doesn't I can't do it. I could play
I
Sivir
like
maybe and just auto clear the wave and walk under my turret and be like, I'm good, but that's about it.
I like ADC honestly because I think it teaches you like the fundamentals of micro really well because you have to teaches you about spacing, threat assessment. Like you can't make any mistakes or you just get instantly killed as far as like positioning and whatnot. And just I think when I like was really playing a lot of ADC, you know, you just getting the like really small micro advantages and just snowballing those are so important. Like for example, like even something as small as like their support misses an ability at level 1 and then they're walking it up too far. Like you just punish them with your auto and your abilities. You just like that it's impossible for them to win the trade without the ability. And you and your support each have an ability and your autos. So just small stuff like that, and just kind of getting those, especially experienced leads, because like some things that really good ADCs I've seen do when they don't have the leash bot lane is they'll go to that middle bush and like aggro the minions before they meet in the middle, so that they aggro one melee, and then they if you do it right, it's kind of weird to do because sometimes they don't aggro the same minion, but if you do it right, it kills the one melee before they get the lane, so then they get the level 2 slower because they missed out on that minion. So like stuff like that, just like really small advantages, just maximizing those things.
Yeah, see, that sounds like hell to
Switch
me.
it to slow push level 1.
That sounds like hell. I would so
Yeah,
much rather just play like Poppy and Hex Flash over a wall, or just like press Ghost and run at you and press W, and it's like, ha, you can't move now, and just E you
yeah,
into a wall. Like that's so much
because
more what I'd rather do. And macro track what's going on in the game and move. I don't. No, that sounds horrible.
yeah, I feel like, and also I think that playing jungle now has helped me substantially in ADC because now I don't like feel like I don't die to ganks nearly as much as I used to. I know like when they're not there, I can be just super aggressive if I want to. So I don't know. I feel like I find like more opportunities now, stuff like that. And then I don't know, just being cognizant of where my jungler is. I feel like that's just like one thing. It's hard. It's so hard to do all that stuff, and then also like as an AD carry, and then like think about also where your jungler is, what he's trying to do, and all that, and what your top laner is doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Like I think I also just in the last few years since I've basically only played jungle, I've regressed in laning because I used to be like a mid laner. I used to play a lot of that years ago, but
Hmm.
I've regressed in laning because now when I do play top, it's just like it's kind of a skill matchup for me in like micro and being able like I can freeze waves and I understand like wave manipulation and stuff like that. So I could do that, but um because I regularly freeze lanes for my laners when I'm playing jungle. So I've learned about that. But like if I'm playing mid lane, I am basically kind of playing to get gold advantages early, and I'm not really trying to kill them all that much. I'm just trying to I'll poke them out. But if I happen to kill them, cool. They probably tried to dive me, or my jungler came and totally set it up. But like I'll play like Xerath, and it's just like fine. I don't care. I played against a LeBlanc and I played Xerath, and it was just like I don't care. I took barrier, and she was trying to hit me and stuff, and yeah, I was dodging, but I was also she was like autoing me, and I'm clearing the minions. Then I walk back to my turret. I'm like, I don't want to lane against you. I don't really want to
Yeah,
lane. I'm good. I just want to get through this part and
I
get
don't want to
gold.
interact with you.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that on artillery mages that can like
Yeah,
straight up clear camps and then hit people from super far away. If I was playing like Fizz, can't play like that. I absolutely have to go in. But that's why then when I'm playing mid lane or ADC, like I'm playing these caster types. I'm playing Xerath. I'm playing Vel'Koz. I'm playing Ezreal. I'm playing Jhin if it's mid lane or something. Like I'm just doing stuff like that where I can just kind of ignore them and clear waves.
yeah. I think I like ADCs too that have like a mechanic like Jin and Misfortune, like where you can like with their Q, basically like auto attack reset, or it is an auto attack reset, but it just makes it so
Does
that
the grenade auto reset Jin?
it does not auto reset just because of how his autos work, but it I mean I that's just like the trading pattern that you do, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just like the most basic trading pattern with them, and it's like if you can do that and then not take more damage than and dodge some stuff, then you're gonna do more damage than them. So like that's just like the basics of like trading and stuff like that.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Well, other than that, I guess since I kind of started talking about me, I'm doing fine. Went to the state fair last week, and that was good. It was absolutely crazy. To put it in perspective, how crazy Minnesotans get for it, there's this cookie stand called Sweet Martha's Cookies, which sells like millions of cookies at the fair. You get like a bucket of them, and I'm talking like a small, like a children's pail or something. And I don't know, it's like 20 bucks or something, and there's a whole bunch of them in there. But they closed early on that Saturday because there was there was a shooting nearby one of the gates, and no one in the state fair, but it was like in a neighborhood right nearby. So the whole place closed down at 1 hour early. Like it was already going to close at 11, it closed at 10 instead. But all the people who were still in line for their cookies, who've been waiting for 20, 30 minutes because that line is so insanely long, got so pissed that they started like throwing beer bottles and food and stuff at the place. Like, no, you don't, you dare close. I need my cookies. God damn it. It's so ridiculous and unreasonable. But yeah, it was ridiculous. But yeah, other than that, life's good. Trying to get a raise at work. Hopefully that goes through. Well, technically a reclassification because I work for the government, and the government doesn't really, depending on your entity, they don't really do raises. They reclassify your position and move you up in steps because it's all graded and stuff. So hopefully getting some of that. League tickets went on sale, so I'm looking at like prices of flights and things like that to maybe go down to Atlanta. I know Bomo and Kaib are going. So I'd like to go, but I'll have to see about what all the prices shake out to be. So yeah, that's about it. I guess I played ranked, and I'm still solid. I'm solidly in Plat 2 now because the last time I played, I got promoted to Plat 2, and then I just kind of stopped. But I played 3 games last night. Uh, 2 Fiddlesticks, one, or no, I played 4. Sorry, 2 Fiddlesticks, 1 Rammus, and 1 Vi, and won 3 of them. So it went well. Yeah, the Vi one I was playing, we had a Kennen mid who I met, and we were just in comms. We duoed, and um, he made the case that Night Harvester is better than Proto Belt in every case, and I was questionable about that. But I mean, he was playing fine, so I wasn't gonna really start to dispute him and say like, no, you're wrong. But but we were playing against, it was a Yasuo mid, and I ganked him 3 times in the first 5 minutes or so. Uh, Blew his flash once, and then came back and IQ flashed him. Um, like flash with the impact to redirect the Q, and then the next time Cannon flashed on him and killed him, and then he just like AFK'd. He was like, I'm done. So classic Yasuo, loses lane even when starting Doran's shield, not getting help from his jungler, just like I'm out, and left. But yeah, so yep. Yeah, John, how you doing,
Almost
man?
won Clash.
We did almost win Clash. That was like what? That wasn't last weekend. That was the previous week. So I guess did
That was
we?
last weekend.
Was it this past
Or
weekend?
was it the previous? Actually, I don't remember. I thought it was last weekend.
It was
I
last
don't.
weekend because I wasn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't here.
Yes, that's right.
Oh yeah, he was in
Yeah.
the mountains.
I forgot it. Yeah, you were in the mountains, but yeah, we almost won Clash. We came in second. It was what? Who played with us? It was us two. Um,
Your brother,
yep, my brother played.
and then the guy I duo with. He's an AD carry player.
And then you found the other
And
person as well.
yeah, we found a random top laner.
Yeah, and we stomped the first 2 games. The first one was very resounding. The second one was a pretty good stomp, and the third game we drafted poorly, I would say, and we paid the price for it.
For sure.
Yep.
I brought out the Dark Tech Nasus support against Zeri.
It was hilarious. It worked.
We were B5, and everybody's like, "What support you want to play?" I'm like, "Guys, this might be troll, but trust me."
Yeah, no, it's not troll at all.
Well,
Nasus is super good. And for those of people who are saying like, "What the fuck, Nasus support's not good," I would recommend go watch LS has a video specifically on it. Not that his say is the end all be all, but he breaks it down and it's actually really convincing and it makes sense. It's only good in few cases. It's what Callista and Zeri, and
Callista and Zeri, that's about it.
that'd be about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe Draven. I could
Yeah.
see it because if he catches his axe, then he stands still and can't throw another one. Maybe, but that'd be about it. I would think. But it's crippling, yeah. And then I was playing just Sejuani and Poppy and building tank, and then Redemption second, being not a sinner at all.
Redemption Tech.
It was great. That Redemption was so disgusting to use against them. Oh my god. Yeah.
And we level 2 dove the Zeri.
Yep. Yeah, I did the
And we
old.
like all got out full HP. It was insane.
Yeah,
It was probably the cleanest dive I've ever seen.
I did a yeah, it was Poppy. I did a 4 camp into. I started blue side, I think, and then 4 camped into going bot, and just we absolutely because she wasn't able to get CS, and then yeah, massacred her, and then like a minute later or 2 minutes later, killed her again, and she was just like she kept playing, but there was no fucking way she was gonna be able to influence anything. It was beautiful, but yeah. Enough about us and our clash victoriousness. John, how was your time in the mountains, man?
It was great. It was really relaxing. Like we went hiking one day. One day it rained, so we kind of just chilled. But overall it was great. Um, Trying to do something again soon like that. But I always
Nice.
enjoy going up to the mountains and hanging out with people when you can.
Yeah. When we were talking offline, you were saying that you had some amazing food up there.
Oh yeah,
What
like
sort of stuff do you have?
yeah, we had when we were just getting up there the first day, we just grilled out and did burgers and hot dogs, so nothing insane. But second day we did someone made like a pot roast, um like potatoes, carrots, and all that, and it took like 14 hours to make. But then let's see, then one day we did sushi and it was super good. Kevin made sushi. Um yeah, we went to this like local butcher store that it was pretty insane. It had like local seafood and like just meats in general. And they had like this massive like dry age refrigerator that looked pretty sweet. Um but the fish was really good. Everything we got there was exceptional.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, we ate good and everything and just had a good time while we were there. I wish it wouldn't have rained one day, but nothing we can do about that. It was still fun. They had a like a pool table and a ping pong table there. There was like 16 of us there too, so there were a ton of us there. They had like a poker table, um, and like this. Oh, they had like this like theater with a projector. They had like 10 seats in it. It's pretty sweet, but
Yeah, that doesn't sound like any low budget affair. But it sounded like it was. That sounds amazing.
yeah, we had been playing that for probably like 6 months or so.
Nice. Yeah. Well, cool. I'm glad you enjoyed it then. How's League been going? You mostly just playing on your alt account still?
Yeah, I've been doing queuing up ADC. It's my primary, and then jungle, secondary, and then I don't know. I like was climbing pretty easily on ADC, and then I feel like I got to a point where it was like sometimes it was just super hard to win games as ADC. Like I feel like I would play decent, but then there were just a lot of issues going
What
on.
what elo roughly are you talking about? You
Like
sort of hit this
gold
wall.
4,
Okay.
at least for
Oh, wicked
ADC.
duo.
But then I there were a few times I got frustrated, so I just queued up jungle, and then I was like, all right, let's crank the numbers up here a little bit. So
Was
yeah,
one
I've
of
just been
those jungle games from that play that you sent me that was absurd with
yeah
that quadra or triple kill or something?
yeah that was from yeah that account, but it was Yeah, I was playing against an Udyr. I think I was already up like 3 levels on him, and then I was like in the red bush, and I had just taken his red, and then there's like he tried to like CC me, and then I just picked the Krugs, jumped to the Krugs from that bush
Yep.
because the Jace was there too,
I'm gonna
and
put
then
it
he
up on
flashed.
the screen right now and show everyone what's going on. It's absurd. I'll turn the sound off, but yeah, it's like he's doing all the Rengar shenanigans. It's like, oh, he hopped over this wall. Oh, he ulted. Okay, he's gone. So people turn around, they start using their skills. Oh no, wait, he's coming back.
Yeah, the Jace looked very frustrated
I was
because he
frustrated watching it. So, I know that they made some Rengar responsiveness changes, like his jumping and through brushes. So when you, at one point, you walk out, like you walk from tri brush into the top mini brush there, and then walk back towards it. I think on maybe a previous patch, you could have hopped that distance. Maybe not, but not now,
uh
obviously, because they.
which part?
So like, here, let me give you a timestamp for it. 15 seconds, 16, 17, you walk back at like, and it looks like you try, like at 19, basically, you try to hop back across.
Yeah, let me see.
It looks like, or you walk back up, then they ward and you walk away and then just flash into the bush. But I think since you had vision there,
Because yeah, so basically like I mean they put the ward there, so I knew they had vision, but I mean I knew Udyr was low, and I had my empowered Q there, so I knew I could just instantly kill him,
yeah,
and then I could kill Jace too, and Cho'Gath was on his way, so I wasn't too worried about Lux. I didn't think Lux was gonna be there though. So the dodge was a little lucky, but I was just kind of moving around, feeling out the situation, I guess.
yep.
Were you full Bone Tooth to start that fight?
I'm not sure.
I don't think you were. I think that's why you couldn't jump to that dry bush to start.
Does it have a longer range once you max that out?
I didn't think so. I thought it only did your AD, increase your AD.
Oh, did they change that?
Yeah, I thought I think that's part of what they changed.
Yeah.
As far
It's
as
been a
I know,
long
it's
time since
only
I played Rengar, so
yeah. As far as I know, it's only the get the AD. But I mean, I think at that point I had probably at least 4 stacks if I had to guess.
Let me look. Rengar wiki.
But also I was going like the crit build, so I was hitting really hard. Like my Q was hitting really hard.
Scoring a takedown grants Rengar a trophy once per unique champion and up to 5. Trophies grant 1 to 36% based on trophies bonus AD as bonus AD, nothing else. They used to empower some of his abilities, I believe, yeah. But
Yeah.
now
I think when he
like
got
they
max stacks, it increased his leap range out of brushes, right?
maybe that was
think it
back when you
used to
had
be
to
like that.
buy Bone Tooth when he came out.
Yeah.
Like I said,
so.
it's been a long time since I played Rengar.
Yeah, same. I don't like
But
him.
yeah, I mean, I got really lucky though with my Sheen because I had everything because that's kind of why I waited there, I guess too, because I rewatched it just now. Because my Eclipse cooldown was coming up, my Sheen proc was coming up from my Essence Reaver, so I was just waiting for that because then I could insta kill Udyr and then get on Jace.
Sure. I was just thinking that because they've made it where there's basically no delay where you can hop. There used to be like a half a
Yeah.
second delay where you could still jump. So I think before they changed that, you could have jumped into that tri-brush, but not anymore.
Yeah, you can also like jump slightly faster with like if you Q or empower Q and then you're like running away and then you're in a bush, you can jump at them slightly more quickly because you get the bonus attack speed because it counts as an auto. The first 2 after your empowered Q.
Oh, does the leap speed depend on attack speed?
So I mean, I guess it more so it feels like I don't know. It feels like you kind of get to them quicker. That might just be like how it feels for me, but I don't know. It feels like whenever I like empower Q or do Q, but don't like auto first, so I get the attack speed for 2 autos afterward. Then it's like that, but otherwise it's I don't know. It might just be that that's how it feels for me.
Sounds like an
But
easy practice tool test.
yeah,
So, all right. Well, I'm glad you had a good time in the mountains and that your Rengar smurfing on much lower people is going well.
I'm not playing him that much. I don't play him every game. I've been trying to play AD carry.
Well, that's good. I didn't mean that sarcastically. It sounded sarcastically, but it didn't mean that. But in any case, we're half an hour in. We haven't even talked about the patch yet. So let's get into this. So this is geared mostly at pro play because this is not the patch for Worlds, but it's the patch right before Worlds because patch 12.18. So they're trying to fine-tune stuff, fine-tune things, and then for next patch they'll make adjustments on these adjustments to then set up the patch for Worlds. And so here we go. There's a lot of nerfs, buffs, adjustments, systems changes. So we're just going to have to fly through these, I would think. Or not necessarily fly through. We can talk about stuff. But Ari, her charm duration is down early. It was 1.4 at rank 1.4 to 2 seconds. Now it's 1.2 to 2 seconds. So it's still the same once you put your points into this. I think this is your second max on Ari. It's not your first because the Q is. But I think this is the second max on Ari, although maybe it's the third. No.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
play
this
Ares.
is apparently the most popular one. This is her third max.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too.
Yeah, because
So
with W.
yeah. So that surprises me. So then up until level 18, this is a nerf. Well, okay, essentially up until level 17, but that's still okay. How much of a nerf is it really though? It doesn't. I don't think this really does hardly anything. This is
Yeah.
placebo. She was up for also having some base health reduction, but that was taken away. That was provisional change, which is no longer there as well. So I don't know. This doesn't feel like it really does anything for Ari as far as how she functions in pro play.
Agreed.
Cool.
I think all it does is just increases the chance for you to flash her like charm Everfrost.
Yeah.
I mean that's literally the only thing it changes.
Yeah.
Like if she charms, you have that 0.2 seconds to flash before she
Right.
Everfrosts.
And if you're not instantly cleansing this or QSSing this, if you're using that, then this also, like, if you're going to do it halfway through, it makes even less sense to do it now because it's going to last less long up until she maxes it. So maybe if this is a bigger deal than what we're thinking, this might swap to her second max, but that would heavily decrease her damage and her move speed. So I don't think so. But yeah. Okay. Azir. John, you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. WAP scaling is decreased. Cooldown on the W is increased early, and the E cooldown is increased. I mean, I've seen a little Azir, I guess. I mean, it's just the people who only play Azir, you know. But he did seem like kind of strong, I guess. But I don't know. I think this is probably a good change, especially for pro play, because they're much better at microing that champion.
Fenrir, you've been watching a lot of pro league before football started. So has he been everywhere?
He's pick ban first rotation in just about every region. He's just so
Yeah.
safe and he just carries the late game in the right hands. I mean, you put Azir and Chovy, Faker. I mean, Jensen. You can just keep naming them. They're cracked in this champion. So I think the changes are definitely
even players who are not top tier. Not to give any disrespect, but for people who are like sandbox closer who didn't make worlds, his Azir was nasty. If you're thinking like DRX Zeka, he did make worlds, but his Azir is still good. It's just that even in for the specific region's mediocre hands, Azir is still game-changingly strong. So at that point, he does deserve nerfs, I agree. And as far as your point, John, I don't see him in solo queue either, except for the X0 one tricks. In ARAM, he's a terror, and I just played against him. And yeah, we ended up winning, thank God, but because of my full health Nautilus, woot woot. It wasn't because of that at all. It was kind of funny though, just how much damage I was surviving through. Like this full crit gangplank is one hitting everyone, and then I'm like, all right, I'll just Q on gangplank, and then he's like, Q hit a barrel. I lost like a quarter of my health. Then he's like autoing me, Q, still didn't. Like, no, I'm just sitting there slapping him with the anchor, just bong bong, and then like third or fourth Q, still not dead. And then by that point, we had a Vayne and shit, I don't even remember who else that we had. We had a Vex and some other like later game characters. Well, we had an Olaf who didn't know what he was doing, and one other character like they just come through and wipe out that gangplank. It was hilarious. But yeah, Azir was doing work. So if plat level Azirs can be that impactful, even in ARAM. But if we're in Summoner's Rift too, that seems like it's a problem because this guy is
Yeah.
supposed to be. If he's balanced, I'd probably say he probably should have like a 47, 46% win rate in solo queue.
Yep.
Yeah, because it seems like just straight up free scaling. To your point, like especially in the hands of like a pro player who can just sit there and micro him perfectly and get all the CS. Like you can't kill him, and he's just gonna get 10 CS per minute.
And
You
first
know?
strike, he outranges basically everyone to get lots of first
Yeah.
strike gold.
So he's gonna out trade you, and then he's also gonna out CS you. It's like, what do you do?
In Plat Plus, his because of this, like because we're on the new patch, we can look. The win rate hasn't changed, but if I look up it, let's look at Challenger. Not enough games here, but like 12-16, he's 49. Same with 12-15. 12-17, there's been 60 games of it, so it's too soon because the patch just went live today. But if
Yeah.
I look even like Master Plus, his win rate has dropped by, I mean, still not that much, but in the context of Pro, where everything's slower, everything's a lot more methodical, he gets a lot more of those chances to free scale up and be nastier.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. Fenrir, you want to take Camille?
Sure. Passive shields are increased, and then her E damage is increased. I think these changes are dangerous for sure.
Yeah.
But in pro play, like I watch it a ton, she was getting quite a bit of play before these changes, and I think giving a champion like Camille these types of changes right before Worlds, when she's already seeing play, I don't know, it just seems a little scary to me, especially the percent HP shield. That just gives her so much more trading power in lane.
Yep.
Yeah, so my thoughts are that the E damage is very strong, like you're saying, because she
Yeah.
gets 15% bonus AD buff and 15 percentage points, and she gets base damage early as well. So both of those are going to be strong, and E's not her first max, it's her second max. So until level 10, she gets 20 free damage and 15% bonus AD damage. That's big because she's not using it on cooldown, but sometimes she kind of is in trading patterns and stuff. But the shield, I don't think it's that big of a deal because if you're playing against Camille in earlier in lane, like when she gets her shield, you're waiting for her shield to drop. You're not trying to kill it. It's the same as like when you buff Kai'Sa's shield on her R. No one's chewing through that. They're not killing the shield, or Tom Kench's shield on his R. They're not killing the whole shield. They're waiting for it to drop and then they're attacking them. So I don't know. Like I don't think this will be a problem when she becomes way too strong and they need to then nerf it. Then they're going to have to pull buffs back from this. This is not needed. The E, I think, is enough. Like you said, they're already seeing her play, and she does do well into like the meta picks. Like she's great against Zeri because Zeri can't get out of her R. She's great against Sivir. Same reason. She's very good against a lot of the top laners that are being picked, Renekton excluded, but Renekton should not be picked because he's a terrible champion. I mean, like,
She
she's.
destroys Ornn.
Yeah, exactly. She destroys these tanks. People playing Gragas top full tank, which is not that common, but if like any tanks you're playing up top, Sion gets murdered by Camille. So maybe with these buffs, we'll see Jace come back a bit because Jace is really fun to watch, but I don't know. This is a buff for sure. I don't think it's as big just because the passive is a placebo to me as well. Feel free to disagree if you guys don't think so, but
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything that was said. I mean, I thought she was not really. I didn't think she was weak at all. I mean, the shield 3% more. I mean, she'll just be healthier in the lane. Like she can take trades maybe that she couldn't before, slightly more. Like safely, especially with the E. Now that she's doing more damage with it, and she has the. I mean, just trading all around for her is gonna be better, but I don't know how that's gonna affect
yeah,
all the Camille stuff in pro and whatnot.
for sure. And if I'm looking at the champions that counter her as well, it's worth noting that her win rate jumped up 1% so far. Again, 1 day's worth of matches, but still, her the matchups
Maybe-
that she does worst into are not played in pro play. Akshan destroys her. Poppy destroys her. Mordekaiser you might see in pro, but those first two you're not going to see. Rumble, probably not. Maybe a pocket pick. Warwick top, no. Kale top, maybe, but probably not. Shen top, no. Maybe Scion. Lilia top, no. Yone top, yes, depending on the team. So of those, like of the worst matchups where she loses 55+% of the games, they're not playing them. So she's not even going to be counterpicked. She's going to be getting medium skill matchups to favorable matchups basically across the board, like Fenrir was saying.
Gotcha.
Actually, Poppy's like picked Bannon in pro. That's part of the reason why she hasn't seen a whole lot of play.
True, but it is Poppy jungle. No one's playing Poppy top.
Yeah, no, they don't play Poppy top. That's for sure. I thought you were just meaning champions in general.
So these are like when they pick Poppy
Yeah,
top,
I
it
get you
is.
now.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah, they don't play Poppy top. That's for sure.
No.
Now, the more that I think about this, I guess I should kind of retract a little bit. I think these might be more buffs like, hey, tanks are getting really prevalent in the top lane. Here's a nudge for you guys to see the Camille's still a champion.
Yeah, I'd say if they want to, they could have driven that further home by buffing Fiora. But Fiora,
but
Fiora doesn't
she's-
need buffs at all.
No.
She's seen a lot more play. Camille's only seen I haven't seen her at all in pro play until this last weekend, and I only seen 2 games.
I saw her get picked in LCK semi often when they'd be playing tanks and stuff. Or against the lower ranked teams as well, because I would watch all the LCK games. Like there'd be teams that would pick it pretty often, like all season. They were lower ranked teams. The top teams were not picking it all that much, but
Okay.
yeah, I didn't keep up with the other regions though. So, yep. But anyways, my favorite Prowler's Claw champion, Ezreal. E cooldown is down 2 seconds across the board. Not a huge deal because he gets a lot of ability haste in basically every variation of build you do, and he's constantly reducing 1 second flat on this every time he hits a Q. Not a big deal. I mean, sure, rank 1, now you're not waiting for it as long, but like once you hit 2 items, you kind of have this on. You kind of have it whenever you want it. And this isn't going to increase his. It's just going to increase his safety. But if you know what you're like, if this is focused at pro play like it is, they should know where the jungler is all the time, roughly. So you shouldn't really be getting caught out as much as people do. And if you are, yes, this is helpful, but this shouldn't actually be helpful if pro players are tracking junglers like they should be. Does that make sense? Did I say that right? Am I expecting too much from these pros?
It should be perfect. That's their job.
No. Yeah, they get paid lots of money for that.
Yeah. Let me see. Did this actually change his win rate at all? Nope. Basically the same. Again, 1 day's worth of matches, but even with the 21% pick rate, his 21%, Jesus, his pick rate jumped up 6%. But the
I was about to say, I wouldn't be surprised if it went down just because of the pick rate.
yeah, his pick rate went up by 6 percentage points, and the win rate went up by 0.2%. No, basically no change. So yeah. My least favorite champion in the game, and John's favorite. Do you want to cover it?
Let's go.
Is this
sure.
actually your favorite champion?
No, I've told you this before. It's Frengar.
Oh, right. Sorry.
That's an easy answer.
Well, you also love Graves, and I know
do,
that.
but I only love the. You know, what my favorite time to play him is when I get to play against you.
Yeah.
But anyway, Q cooldown is decreased on Graves. Our base damage increased. From the onset, that seems pretty disgusting to most people, but like when I look at this, it's like his R damage. They're changing nothing about the scaling on it. It's literally 25 damage at each level on his R. So like almost nothing. Like baby buff to his R. I feel like almost negligible because nothing was done to the scaling. But as far as the Q cooldown, like I don't know, man. I don't really like this that much either because it's like they made it higher earlier the cooldown and then lower once you max it. So
is this your first max?
yes,
regardless of what build style you're going, if you're going that bruisery style or lethality, it's still your first max. Okay.
Yep. I don't know. This does not really seem like much of a buff to me, if I'm being honest. It's like, let's see, 1 second later at level 1, half a second later at level 2. Not until you get to level 3 is it the same as it was before. Then you get half a second off and then 1 second off at max. So like you're maxing it first. So like at level 6, you're gonna have what 4 points into your queue or 3 points into your queue.
Level 7, you get your 4th.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're like not until level 7 are you gonna see any benefit really?
Yeah.
It's really just I don't know. I guess it helps with clearing once you get to that point, level 7.
But are you using
But
it twice on a camp
no,
by the time you're
not
level
really.
7?
No, I wouldn't say so. You're only queuing a camp once.
Except if it's one of the
Yeah.
buffs. Yeah.
Right. But I don't know. I don't think it's really a buff. I think it's just I don't know. I would have said that was probably an adjustment, but
His win rate did go down, but his pick rate jumped up 4%. So we don't really know about how it actually
yeah,
impacted.
yeah. I feel like it's kind of hard to tell. I don't know. This just it seems like a kind of like slightly nerf slash buff too. So I don't know.
I think they're just
It's
really
just kinda
hesitant
weird.
to give him too much power because he was an
Yeah, I agree.
absolute menace last Worlds who was always being picked, and he was
Yeah,
top lane Graves was a fucking scourge. So
yeah. He was a menace.
no
Yeah,
one
that's
wants to
fair.
see it either because it just wasn't fun for people to play against when it was strong or people to. I
Yeah,
don't think anyone like okay, maybe it was fun to see a couple times, but after that, I never enjoyed watching Graves top. I didn't enjoy
yeah.
watching it.
Especially top. Yeah, it's just like you're just bullying the top laner as a melee champ,
Yeah.
and you're a ranged champ.
It was
Like,
exciting when someone would play it Graves jungle. It didn't do as well, but it was like, oh, they're playing it jungle. How cool! How off meta. When that's what he was
yeah,
designed for. But yeah,
yeah. When Graves jungle is off meta in pro, that's I guess that's just a testament to how like busted he was top too.
yeah.
But I don't know. I think this is gonna probably not do much, if anything, to him.
No, and he's also not good against the meta. What it is right now with tanks and
Agreed.
ADCs with these
I
super
haven't really
mobile
liked playing him.
ADCs. Yeah,
I haven't liked playing him into like the meta stuff, like Trundle, Udyr, you know, Zac, Fiddlesticks, like all that stuff. I don't.
yeah.
It's not. I mean, Fiddlesticks not as bad. I feel like
Fiddlesticks is
depending,
okay. I would assume it's
depending.
basically just like you're kind of ignoring each other in team fights.
Yeah, unless I can like be super impressive to him early and like any opportunity. But other than that, I don't know. I just think this is like negligible, pretty much. I guess.
Yeah. So, all right. Everyone's favorite battle pony is getting adjusted, quote unquote. Hecarim. So I'll just run through all these and we can talk about them. So his base armor is going down by 3 and his health growth is going down by 5, which means that he gets 90 less health at level 18 than before. His Q, the base damage is down by 20 at max rank, and this is your first max. But the bonus AD ratio is up by 5%. The damage per stack was 2%. Plus 3% per 100% bonus AD. Now it's 4% plus 6% per 100% bonus AD. The cooldown per stack, it reduces your cooldown every stack you have, was 1 second. Now it's 0.75, and you can now have one additional stack. So you can now reduce the cooldown by 2.25 seconds as opposed to 2 seconds now. And the damage per stack is going to be up. You're going to get a lot more damage when it's max stack than before. Your stack fall off change so that instead of you losing all of them at once, now you're going to lose 1 stack per second at duration and just like Lethal Tempo and Lilia Q and stuff like that. The mana cost is now a flat 30 as well, so this is a buff for the mana cost specifically after you put your second point into it, because before then it was 31 up to 40. His W is, so the first off, the cooldown, it was 14 flat, now it's 16 to 14, but they're now doing it where while his W is active, he gains 15 to 35 armor and MR while it's active. So they took away some armor in his base, but they're now because they're making him less durable. But while he has his W up, he's a lot more durable. And then they are nerfing his E. The minimum damage is down flat. Actually, the flat is the same, but the bonus AD is down by 5%. The max damage is the base is also the same, but the bonus AD is down by 10%. The minimum knockback is down by 100 units, and the maximum knockback is down by 100 units as well. So he can only knock people 350 back. So one Lilia auto of range, approximately. Her auto is 375, but we don't need to haggle about that. And then the cooldown for the E is now 18 at all ranks, which was your third, which is what it would be at making it rank 3. So it's a buff for the first 2 levels of it, and a nerf once you're at rank 4 and rank 5, as far as cooldown specifically. And then his R is also getting nerfed. The fear duration was 0.75 to 2 seconds based on distance traveled. Now it's 0.5 to 1.5 seconds based on distance traveled. So if you're using it right in place, exact same. If you're using it max distance or with the increasing distance, it is now going to be less effective. It's still going to do the same damage, still the same cooldown, everything like that, but fear duration is down. So with all that being said, I'll just give my thoughts then, since I'm already talking, and then I'll shut up and drink some water and stuff, because I've been talking for a bit. But I think that when he has his W up, he does a lot of healing, and he's going to be building Sunderer. It's gonna plus his additional durability. You're gonna want to wait for that to go down. I think it lasts for 6 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. I'll look this up on the wiki when you guys are talking, but I think it's 6 seconds that it's up. So you're gonna want to play around that. But his Q is a lot more powerful. His E is worse. I would assume now, instead of maxing E second, you're now going to max E last, because it's just going to be used for utility, not damage. In my mind, you're going to want that extra durability on his W plus the extra healing you get, and to make the cooldown of that lower. The R is fine, doesn't make that much of a difference, because if you fear them for 2 seconds, it's great, but what matters is the instant disruption, and then that after effect of them running away, not a huge deal. If this was a 0.75 always, I still think it would be effectively the same ability, because you're just looking for that instant disruption, which will stop any channels like a Misfortune ultimate, a Vel'Koz ultimate, and to make Zeri not run towards your targets, stuff like that. So those are my thoughts. Fenrir, what do you think about this?
First, we'll just start. I don't really play Hecarim that much, so I don't have a lot to say. But looking at it at first, I didn't think it was going to be that much of a change. But he's at a 50.5% rate, 18% pick rate.
Okay.
This patch. I don't know if he was last patch.
I can
He
look.
was at 48% last patch. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What's the pick rate change by?
3.5%.
Okay.
It was 3.5%. Now it's 17%.
Well, yeah.
So I was wrong. His
So-
W is active for 4 seconds. Okay.
I think getting the bonus stack for his Q and then the stacks falling off one at a time, kind of like Lilia passive, is kind of disgusting for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It allows him to clear the jungle like super fast.
It makes it even better, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
think not
assuming
only
he goes Monome for sure, right?
I would assume he
Or
goes
Man
man
Immune.
immune. I assume he goes man immune.
That's what I meant.
yeah, you can yeah. I feel like people are going that. I mean, it's just super nice now because you can like with his W, you can just really like the bruiser build, or I guess like fighter build is just super good now because like you can dip into damage and the health, and then you just get free if you're maxing W second. I mean, you're getting a good bit of stats from it. Like once you fully max it, you're getting 35 armor and MR while it's active. So I mean that's a ton. So like that's if you just build a ton of health and AD on him, like he's gonna be really tanky as well.
You also have
Pretty
to
hard to
think
deal
that
with.
this W is doing its 60 magic damage per tick to everyone in it per second. So that's 200 at max rank. that's 240 magic damage because he's AD mostly.
Yeah,
240 magic damage, and his healing over the whole duration is 240 as well. But if you're going to build a Spirit Visage, which probably seems like a great item for him, that's going to be increased by 25%. I don't know. Like this is I
that's
don't.
nice on him.
Yeah, it is.
Just because of the healing from the passive, and then also you get a little bit of ability haste now from Spear Visage, which is just great on him already.
Yeah, I mean, match specific, that might be his third item. I still think the core would be Sunder or Manamune. But I mean, you could swap out the Manamune if you're looking at a lot of sustained magic damage heavy fights. Then that could make sense to swap out. But Sunder seems like the old days of Tank Hecarim do not seem like they will work with this. It'll be even
Yeah.
worse now.
Yeah, I'm glad they're moving away from that. I thought it was just. I mean, I feel like that was just indicative of an issue. If he was like able to build full tank and then also do
Yeah. So his AD, so
ton
up.
of damage. Because how his passive works with like him taking all that Manamune thing, but
Yeah, for sure. His base AD is actually quite low, which surprised me. I was just looking at it. It's 66 to 120, which is kind of low. But
yeah, I definitely think that his clear though is gonna be
super fast.
yeah, it's gonna be good. I mean I think 310 is realistic
Yeah,
for a first clear within Mount.
for
I'll
sure.
have to try it. I want to try it.
I do too. I don't like playing Hecarim. Well, okay, I don't mind playing Hecarim, but he's a very unique play style that I don't quite understand how to do it, and I'd have to put in a lot of games to do
Really?
it. Yeah, I don't. It's never worked all that well for me. Even in the days when he was super strong, I could never really get it to work as well as people who were doing it well.
Gotcha. I
Yeah,
feel like his R is sometimes weird to use.
yeah, that's hard to
Like it
use.
can
And
feel
then
clunky.
yeah, and I was fine with using his E well, but I would not. I didn't quite know his limits. With that, just takes time of learning the champion. But yeah, using his R it was something I did not understand how to do all that well.
Yeah, my friend who's played like a lot of Hecarim, I think that's his most played champion. Um, he'll like when he's doing his E, he'll like sometimes count out loud to know the like how much damage he's gonna do, or like to try to get the max damage and the knockback distance on it, and also to make sure that he can like get there in time. Because
Yeah,
yeah, you activate it and then you have a certain amount of time, while you're Ying that you can do it.
yeah. And the knockback distance is based on, since a recent change this season is based on like distance traveled. So you have to be moving around otherwise you're not going to knock people back or do damage to them.
Yeah, and the and the damage. Same with the damage.
Yeah.
Exactly. Playing around that.
Yep. But the murder pony is back, gentlemen.
Yep.
Yep. All right. So Kassadin, I'll take Kassadin here. Q cooldown decreased, mana cost on the Q decreased. So the mana cost is down by 10 at all ranks, and the cooldown is down by 1 second at all ranks. I feel like Kassadin was fine before. I mean, I never saw him really, but I feel like he was fine before. He just there's a lot of stuff in solo queue where he's not strong enough early unless you're really good at him to be worth picking over something that offers more utility or more base damage and less AP ratios. Like Galio is just a lot stronger, more reliable. Vex is more reliable. Kennen mid, or picking like one of the Wind Brothers mid is a lot more reliable. I mean, these all function in very different roles. I get that, but picking that sort of champion, picking other sorts of champions that are not Kassadin were more reliable because he takes a lot longer to come online. Or even if you can get him online earlier and do well with him, there's always this perception of, oh, I have a Kassadin on my team. I'm not going to get any mid lane help until level 11 at least. So we're basically playing a 4v5 or a 4.5v5. So it's hard to get out of that mental for teammates, and I know that I, as a jungler, don't expect him to be able to do shit until level 6. Even level 6, not necessarily amazing unless this guy knows what they're doing.
Yeah. It's my favorite when they pick Cassidy mid and then they do Kale top.
Yeah. They're basically just surrendering the early game on top side.
Yeah. And then
Unless
I choose Rengar, and it's like, oh, okay, guys, I guess I'll just 1v3.
yeah, last patch he was 49.4 win rate. 2 patches ago about 50, so he was about even. This patch 50.7, and the pick rate jumped up by 1.5 points as well. So people are picking him more, and he's winning more. So his win rate is, while it's 50.7 right now, it's probably like 51.5 if I had to guess, just off of conjecture. So he's going to be powerful, and especially he's going to be good into the stuff that people are going to still be picking. Oriana will be at Worlds, we all know it, even though she hasn't been touched in like 2 years, she's still fine. Victor will be at Worlds. Azir will still be at Worlds. Galio will be there. I don't know. Vex might make appearances. Corki for sure. Although I feel like he would be rough into Corki. I don't think he would be good into Corki. I don't know. Syndra will be there for sure. Although apparently he has a losing win rate into Syndra. LeBlanc will be there. Fuck, I don't know. Like, they won't be playing any artillery mages because pros don't play artillery mages, really. Zoe might show up. I don't know. That seems like the mid pool. Silas will be there. Silas into Cassidon is a pretty even matchup to my knowledge as well. So yeah,
I mean, I guess though the thing with this, especially I guess with Graves and Rengar, I like to be like most junglers like to look mid level 3, but like I guess my thinking, like if I have a Cassidy and I can get the level 3 mid gank off and he gets ahead, like once he does reach level 6, like he pretty much is like he's pretty strong at level 6 too. Like I mean obviously he's like not even close to as strong as he can be, but I feel like his level 6 is not anything to like disrespect because he can definitely still like I mean if he gets 6 first or even in some matchups when they both have 6, I mean he can just outright kill them with his
yeah,
ult because of how good it is. Like and especially if you can get him like if they start like a dark seal or something like that and you can get them one early kill and then I mean after that once he hits 6 like the Cassidy just runs around with you and kills everyone and it's like well, if you can get it rolling, I think it's good, but I guess it's kind of like the Azir thing where it's like a pilot thing, you know, where people who are good at casting will still. I don't think this will change much for them.
do you think there's a world where instead of building mage bursty Cassidon like people do, whether it's Luden's Echo or Everfrost or Crown, those seem like to be the only mythics that people go on them. Do you think there's a world where they go I mean, probably not Divine Sunderer, but like a tank mythic and demonic embrace with a tier as well, because Cassidon needs it, and just be like a very mobile Hulk in the middle of a fight, because that's what people are building now. Akali's got a build like that, where it's Divine Sunderer, demonic embrace, Death Dance, and a couple of more AP items, which sounds so toxic to play against. But
Yeah, that
yeah, I
like
saw.
I feel like that just sounds like old tank Echo, like just and also like Cassidon, tank Cassidon. It's just so gross. Like he does so much damage. He's impossible to kill. He has infinite mana.
Yeah, so I mean, I could see a world where he goes something like that, something like these, because tank items are being abused in roles where they're not intended. In solo queue, at least. I don't know about the pros, but
Yeah.
that I could totally see a world where that happens, and I don't like that. That's a reality that I can see.
Yeah, I agree. Like if that becomes a thing, I mean, I'm definitely gonna give that a whirl because the few times when I've played against like Tank Echo and like Tank Casson, it's just so frustrating. Like it's like I killed them like 3 times early, like before 15 minutes, and then they get like 1.5 items and they can't die, and they also just deal a lot of damage.
Yeah, it feels like playing against a tank Scion, but that's how Scion was designed. This is not how
Yeah,
these people were designed.
exactly. Yeah, Catherine's a hyper carry. Scion is not supposed to be a hyper carry.
Yeah, and we're not going to see Unicorns of Love at Worlds, and I know they've pulled them out in like the last 2 or 3 Worlds because the CIS, I think it is, the Commonwealth of Independent States, has not been playing at all since March because of the war in Ukraine, because that's based in Russia. So they have not been playing, and they will not send a team to Worlds. So we won't see Unicorns of Love and Gadget and all those people pull that out. But yeah, so I don't know who's going to play Cassidon, if anybody is, but this seems like a, hey, Cassidon's viable. If he's over a 50% win rate in solo queue, he'll be very good in pro play. But
Oh,
Yep.
Showmaker plays it.
yeah, that would be cool. Showmaker played it a couple times in LCK, I think. So, okay. Fenrir, you want to cover Maokai since he sometimes is a support?
Boy, I don't think I've ever played Malachi.
Really? It's really fun. It's toxic to face, but it's very fun to
Yeah,
play.
it is.
Yeah, I hate it. Going against
I hate
that
playing
support.
against
He
it.
just sapling tosses. Just
Yep.
ruins your bot lane. So it is passive, Q, E, and R are adjusted. So it's passive sap magic. Getting hit by large jungle monsters reduces the cooldown of it by 1.5 seconds. And then the heal is going down. And then the percentage is going up. So like the
Okay.
base heal of the
Right.
passive is going down and the percentage is going up. Q damage is going down early and then scaling higher late game. But it now deals percent maximum health damage, and it now deals bonus damage to monsters. E sapling, not so healthy. Saplings no longer deal maximum percent health damage. That is fantastic.
Oh yeah.
So it's going up base damages all the way through the game, and then it's getting an AP ratio and a bonus HP ratio. Sapling toss. And then the empowered rush damage looks like it's going up on all levels, base damage wise, and then getting the same AP and bonus HP scaling. Or percentage increases, I should say.
Mhm.
Minions no longer take empowered brush damage from saplings. That's great. Get them out of my bot lane, please. The mana cost is going down in all ranks, which I don't like that, but I guess he probably needs that for jungle.
He shouldn't need mana for
And
jungle.
slow.
Mana's not a problem in the jungle.
I guess, yeah, you get blue buff, plus your jungle item gives you insane in mana regen.
You don't even need blue buff. Like I could play Taric jungle, and he has insane mana costs, and you're
Yeah.
fine. But yeah,
The slows increased by 10% as well. And then, Jesus, more changes.
yeah.
New, a little slappy.
A little
So
sappy. But,
I guess I don't understand what this is doing.
So this one is, so when brush empowered saplings used to slow for 35%, now they slow for 45%. Plus they have an AP ratio and a max health ratio. So
Oh,
depending on
yes.
how much bonus HP you have and how much AP, the slow can be larger than 45%. But at minimum, if you never build health and you never build AP, if you go full assassin lethality Maokai, you're for some reason, if you're chaotic enough to do that, then you're the empowered saplings, when they're brush empowered, will slow by 10 percentage points more now always. Yep.
They just crossed out the entire thing, so I was like, what are they
Right.
changing it to? So I got you now.
Real belt
And then
Malkai.
the R, the missile initial speed is increasing, the missile maximum speed is increasing, and the acceleration is increasing. So missiles is just faster all around. And then Maokai now gains scaling bonus movement speed that decays over 2 seconds upon hitting an enemy champion. That's a lot.
It is a
Yeah.
lot. What are your initial
There's a
thoughts
lot
then
going on
from
there.
reading all that, or do you need a second to digest everything you just read?
Well, for one, I think support Maokai could be close to dead.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Why do you say that? Because
Because
I had a different impression, but go ahead.
part of why I think support Maokai is so strong is, yes, definitely the sapling tosses and the brushes, but the ability to shove the wave and go for a dive with Maokai support is like insane because he can drop turret aggro, and most supports can't drop turret aggro.
Right, he can drop it with his
So that
W, his
kinda
W, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and so that's kind of insane. And then I think just him getting the cooldown reduced by getting hit by jungle monsters just makes it where if you're playing in the bot lane with him, it just feels a little trolled because I feel like it's just gonna be so much better in jungle. Overall, I like the changes. I think they changed what they wanted to change to get him into the jungle properly.
Yeah, so here's my thoughts on it. Like, I agree. He's definitely geared more towards a jungler more because so many of his things have jungle interaction now, which they didn't used to, or maybe they did, but now there's additional interactions, which is what generally the approach they take when they want to splash characters into the jungle, like they did a couple years ago when they put Darius, Talon, Gnar, shit, who else did they give? They gave so many other people more jungle interactions, Mordekaiser, Urgot. So, um, I get it, but I still I don't know. I think top Maokai is basically because that's where he's most popular right now, I believe. I can look, but top Maokai is much weaker because he's going to heal a lot less, and that's his whole thing. Is he's constantly basically you can't move him after he gets an item because he's just so tanky and he's constantly healing off of you and CCing you and knocking you up and Wing you and then oh there's a sapling in your face and like so that I think is a lot weaker his sticking power there, but and is sustained through a fight that way if you're not building max health. But now if you're building max health, it's going to be stronger. So also, this bugs me. Why is it levels 1 to 17 scale? What's wrong with level 18? Why don't they want it to scale at level 18?
I don't know. I thought they liked the round numbers.
It's so I hate it also when champions like oh they get a breakpoint their ability like Jarvan passive it levels up at it's level 1 then level 7 and level 13 like that bothers me so fucking much. Just give it a linear scaling with leveling please. But
Yeah.
anyways, I digress. Yeah, the healing's a lot worse there, so I think top Maokai is worse. Otherwise, top Maokai is kind of basically the same. I mean, his Q does more damage, it does percent max health damage, but it does less damage in overall. It does less damage with that. And then we're looking at saplings are weaker for brush control, but they slow more now and they cost less, so you can throw them more. And the R is just all around better. So there's that. Top Maokai is going to be slightly worse, but I would say maybe slightly better, but worse off comparatively to the other ones. Support Maokai, I think, is good if you're not building AP. If you build it full tank, like you're building a Rel, like you're building Leona maybe or something, then it's going to be quite good, I think. Build Evan Shroud, because Evan Shroud is very strong despite people not really building it. It's a very strong item. And I think
guaranteed proc on him too.
you get so many guaranteed procs. I don't know what the cooldown on that item is, but I can't imagine it's long. Like he could weave his stuff in and get multiple procs on, or at least keep it if it's a refreshing duration. Keep it refreshed. Like oof, that's something for sure. Jungle Maokai
Yeah.
so much better than before, but I still don't think it's going to be a premier jungler because what people want, although they might pick it if teams can learn to flex it, they could pick it into as a Zeri response because you can press W and follow Zeri. It doesn't matter if she flies over a wall, you're gonna fly right with her. Or if you're gonna hit R, if she doesn't jump over a wall way out of the fight, she's gonna get rooted for 2 or 3 seconds because that root is so long when it travels far, unless your tank or someone else steps in front of it. And especially if like Yumi's hopping around between people, she might get caught by some of this endless CC that Maokai offers as well. So I mean, yeah, you could even play him mid and just be like unmovable, like when they used to play tank set mid, when people played Scion mid, like people played Karma mid. You could put him mid and just not be movable. You go Sunfire and Thimblewinter, and you're totally fine. You're just chilling. That's what I think because he has so much max health scaling that Thimblewinter makes sense, and he's kind of a spell spammer as well, so that just makes a lot of sense too. A lot of mana, and then you're then transforming that into max health. that seems like an obvious route, and then you could go demonic embrace if you're. They've changed him so that now this whole Sunfire demonic meta of champions that can use it that can use it, he now fits that bill even better than he did before. So I'm not scared because I don't know if I should be scared. I also don't think he'll become that popular because he's kind of outdated and people don't like him all that much. But I don't know. That's my collection of thoughts. John, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think top lane is like probably about the same. Like I feel like he's just not very popular, like in general in top lane either. And then I mean as far as the jungle, I agree. Like he's not gonna be the I don't think he's gonna be the premier pick in the meta as far as like what's currently good. But I mean this definitely helps him a ton. That makes him way more viable. Um and like you were saying, you could just dip into the Sunfire Demonic and I mean like you're still gonna do a lot of damage and you're gonna be super hard to kill. Um, I mean, I just don't know. I've never played Maokai Jungle, so I don't know as far as like how good could his clear be. I guess at this point now, I don't know that, but I mean, it could
I
definitely.
think Maokai Jungle Clear, to answer that, is going to be contingent upon kiting camps into bushes. So like Krugs, you're going to want to kite them into the bush so that you can get the empowered damage on
Power,
your
yeah,
saplings.
yeah,
You could set up saplings ahead of time too because you have such high mana
true.
regen in the jungle. Set them up. I don't know their sit duration, but you can do red buff and set up a couple over in the brush next to raptors, pull raptors over into it, and then boom, they all take a
True.
whole bunch of nuke damage. You could do the
Yeah.
same thing with blue and Gromp, or just blue, I guess, because you can't really pull Gromp into a brush, nor can you pull wolves into a brush. But the red side camps and blue buff are going to be where he thrives there.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah, I mean, I think he won't be like I don't think it'll be OP in jungle or anything. But as far as jungle Maokai, I feel like jungle or not jungle support Maokai has always been like underutilized, but I feel like it's like actually really good. Like I like playing with it personally because to me, I would rather play with Maokai support than Alistar because I guess in my eyes, I just think he just has a lot more to offer. And I guess now, especially in terms of your, I like the change though with the E and the Q, like changing the percent where the percent magic damage is. I think that was just a really frustrating thing to play against. I don't think it was like I think everyone can agree that was just super annoying to play against, and it was like it did so much damage. So I'm glad it's now at least on the queue. Like I feel like that makes a lot more sense. And then also as far as support Maokai, I feel like with your W being point and click and like basically guaranteeing your Q, like I feel like that just makes your all in even like stronger, right? Because like you can't guarantee the percent on a sapling if you're all inning. I mean,
right?
you sometimes get it, just because of how things are happening. But I mean, now it's like you always are getting that percent health, and I feel like that's pretty good, especially against other tank supports.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I like having a Maokai support personally, especially for like vision and stuff too. Um, I don't know. I just think he's not played very much is the only issue, but I like that they're doing this. Hopefully, he'll get some more play. Just in general, like in any role would be good.
So what I agree with you. Like this champions are not being used all that much. Getting more play is great. What would you guys say you think that his wow, I'm looking top lane, he hasn't had enough games to qualify until since patch 12.13. Other than that, it's been like not enough data according to u.gg.
Yeah.
But the last patch he had, so in top lane, I will say his last time in 12.16 when people weren't playing him all that much was 47.2. Now he's 51.9 and a 5%
Dang.
pick rate, and his pick rate basically went up 5%.
Okay.
So jungle, what do you think his win rate is right now?
I would say 40. I would guess 47.
Fenrir?
You looked so.
Oh, okay. It's 46.3, but people have to learn because no one played it before. There was in the entirety of 12-16 worldwide Plat Plus 740 games, so no one was playing it before. Support as well is the win rate has gone up, but it was already good. Now it went up like little over 1 point, and the pick rate went up as well. Like it tripled essentially, almost. I guess it doubled because it was 1.4. Now it's 3.9, so that just doubled. But yeah, that's a lot. So it
I
seems
would
like
expect.
people are picking up to this well, and that he is stronger, or people are recognizing his strength and actually using him right. I mean, who knows? But
Yeah, I think his jungle win rate's still a little rough, but
it,
yeah, even
it'll rise.
yeah, I think it'll go up. I think it'll go up.
Probably like I'd say 48.5 is probably where he's going to land next patch if they don't touch it again. Once people
That's
who are
fair.
going to play Maokai jungle learn it, because he only has a 4% pick rate right now, but there's only been 4,300 matches Plat Plus worldwide. So
What rune are people running on him?
it's the top one is 219
Harassment.
Or
aftershock
aftershock? Okay.
but that's only 219 matches. If I look at like rune setups, I would personally take Conqueror. Um,
Really.
yeah,
For jungle?
or Predator. Yeah, one of the two. Because
I would. Yeah.
Aftershock, okay, I use
Like
my
Predator,
W
for sure.
and it does some damage, and then boom, then I have no keystone after that. So why don't I take Predator and I can get in on them faster to actually get in range, so I don't have to use my flash necessarily. Or why don't I do Conqueror, because I'm gonna stack that shit so quickly and be in amongst everyone the entire time, because that's what my champion is designed to do. Or Glacial. I would
Think,
also go Glacial maybe, and then just build supporty.
I like aftershock
think he'd be
or
a
predator.
sneaky spellbook user.
Spellbook, really?
Yeah.
So I never
I'll
feel
get into my spellbook here soon.
okay. Gotcha. We'll hold spellbook talk then for the change that you want to talk about, which I know what you want to talk about. So okay, but support or Maokai's now moved into the jungle a bit, so go ahead and play him. John, you play Misfortune. You want to cover her?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so her Q base damage is increased late, cast time adjusted, her W mana cost decrease, attack speed bonus increased, E cooldown increased, and the base damage on it is decreased. And then the AP scaling is increased on the E, and then the slow on the E now scales with AP. So I actually played Game of Misfortune right before. Uh, and I mean, she feels really good. I mean, I thought she was already like
Noticeably better than
really.
before.
I mean, I think it just feels smoother. Just
Okay.
I guess playing the champion with her Q, because like before it did feel. We talked about this a little before the podcast. Like her Q felt like a little clunky, like especially like auto queuing, like
Sure.
unless you're used to it. And now it has the exact same timer as the as your auto attack, so it just feels like the auto Q auto animation feels really good. I will say. Um, so I think they did a really good job with that. I'm surprised they increased her damage. I think they just want to remind people that crit misfortune exists. I liked crit misfortune going like PTA on her, and going Kraken or Gale Force. Um, I think that both of those items were pretty fun builds on her. I liked going Kraken on her when I used to do crit. Um, but
It's worth noting as
that
well that this afterwards, like today, was immediately hotfixed to remove the W buffs. They were reverted.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that's. I was surprised they were changing the W, so I think that was good because that was a bit too much. I think because before I rarely take attack speed boots on Misfortune anyway. Like
Hmm.
because I just feel like I never need it. It just feels like a waste in my opinion most of the time. I like almost always go lucidity boots or sweaties. I've been
Oh.
more so recently. I've been liking lucidity boots because I just feel like it's super good on her.
So because she gets so much move speed, why not go in? Because you're not taking first strike on her, so why not go secondary tree the inspiration and just sit on your magical boots? Just sit on them. Don't need to upgrade
Uh,
them.
Yeah, I've done that before. I've done that some. I've liked. I don't know. I like doing either the domination secondary and doing ultimate hunter and cheap shot, or doing. Let's see, what else have I done? I've liked going absolute focus and then gathering storm and the secondary tree before. When I would go like crit, I would go that for the secondary tree. Um, I don't know. I mean, I
Ultimate
like
Hunter
these
seems a
changes.
little troll to me, quite honestly, because I don't think you're using her ult on cooldown. Or maybe you are, but
I don't know. I mean, it's just nice having it a lot. I
sure.
mean, I use it a lot for like, so if there's like a wave, I just need to delete late game. Like
Okay.
I'll just insta delete it and then go to something if I don't need the ult for. Um, I go that on Twitch a lot too, but I guess on him it makes a little more sense. But
Does the interaction still work with Gale Force and her R, where you can widen the cone?
I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
I'm not sure about that. But yeah, I mean, I was surprised they even did anything to her W. I think reverting it was a good idea because her win rate was like it was absurd. It's like almost 54% prior to the hot fix. But
Wow.
I also like that they're making her E like I don't know. That was just I feel like too strong, and it was just super annoying to play against in lane. And like even I played it a good bit recently, and like I don't know, like it kind of felt like cheating. I guess I don't know, like because it does so much damage and it's like guaranteed to hit, and then with Comet like just makes that even worse for
Yeah.
whoever you're playing against. So I think it was good to lower the damage on that. I don't really understand the why they're changing the AP scaling like at all. Like I figured they would just
They're increasing the viability of support misfortune, is what I think.
yeah, I just in my opinion, I just personally don't like it.
It's not fun to
But
play. I don't think it's fun to play it, nor play against it. But
exactly.
it is good to have that variety, is what I will say.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I agree. And then they changed how her slow works. So her slow just
Yeah.
um is 50% instead of scaling now, and then it scales off of AP now instead. So
I
I guess like
imagine
that makes more sense for AP misfortune.
I imagine that the e-buffs will exist until patch 12.19, which is the patch after Worlds will be played on, and then they'll be erased
Yeah,
because
I
they
agree.
want her like they want the ability for pros. That's my impression here to pick misfortune and there it to be ambiguous whether it's AD or support and be able to flex it. Teams are not going to do that because teams don't flex picks nearly enough as they should, but they're giving
Yeah.
them the out to be able to do that. They're increasing the viability of it. So that's what I think, and then they'll revert it because like I just looked on here, she's a 53% win rate, and like you're saying, she just got
Yeah.
hotfix, so she was even stronger. Like this,
Yeah, it was
she's too
gross.
strong. She's too strong. She didn't need a buff
Just
already.
objectively.
Too
Yeah,
strong.
objectively. Just
Yeah.
really good. Play her while you can.
Yep. So another champion that's being nerfed and I think kind of gutted some of her matchups. Fenrir, do you want to talk about Nami?
So this nerf has needed to happen for a year and a half now.
Yeah.
This interaction
Yeah.
with her E has been absolutely ridiculous, and I can't believe it took this long to get rid of it. So it just removes the interaction where with the electrocute, where her E now only counts as a single application of damage instead of three. It does change, but it only changes for bad Nami players. So basically, what was happening is you would just E or Lucian, and he'd go in and he'd proc electrocute, and all the E damage plus Lucian passive. Good Namis can still proc electrocute almost instantly, so
Really?
it's going to reward them. Yeah,
Even when they're not in range of the target? Or do they need to be in range of the target basically? Because they need to like auto E auto.
you should be right next to your Lucian almost all the time.
Oh, okay.
All you have to do is auto W E the Lucian, and then you've procced the electrocute.
Okay.
You don't have to E yourself. You just, or if you land a bubble, I mean, it's obviously going to happen every time. I'm just glad this interaction's gone because it's super frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I just think that it's like, and also it's just like in pro play. I think it's annoying that it's either Lucian Nami or like Lucian isn't played. You know what I mean? Like it's an insanely strong bot lane, but like especially in pro play where they're microing it extremely well and everything. But like even then, like I just think that that never should have been a thing. It's just an obnoxious interaction that like is an example of something that should have just been, I think, never been a thing, or like Fenrir was saying, like been dealt with like a while ago. I just don't understand why this was ever a thing. And then I don't know. I always thought Aerie made more sense on her anyway.
Yeah, so that's what I watched LS's take on this patch earlier today, but he said that he thought the pro Nami players are still going to be picking, or they're still going to be picking Lucian Nami. They're just going to swap to Ares. It's not going to do as much damage, but it's just going to be,
Yeah,
they're just going to swap and play the exact same, and it's going to be even worse. Lucian Nami is,
I think
which,
that's I
I,
think that's a fair assumption.
yeah, agreed.
There's just no other champion that gives you on hit auto slows for free.
Yeah, and especially with like how they change Lucian, like
Yeah.
they just function together so well.
Yeah.
So it's just like
Yeah,
hard not to play them together.
it's so gross to me that people, that pros specifically, because we're talking, this is a pro focus patch, are still picking like Lucian Nami when uh, there's been games when Soraka's been picked, and it's disgusting how hard it takes to kill anyone on the team. Like, if I'm thinking there was a Fnatic Excel game, I think, where Soraka was picked, and it was absolutely fucking absurd. They could not. Fnatic ended up winning the game because of some throws by Excel, but when there was a team fight, they could not kill anyone. They had Lucian Nami, they had Trundle, they had what, Nar maybe, I don't know. They had Silas, like, so they had all these quote unquote meta champions and couldn't touch the Sejuani. They just the I don't know what ADC it was paired with. I think it was like Zeri or Sivir or something, but they could not kill them, and it was disgusting. So like, I don't understand. In solo queue, I get it. Lucian Nami can do well. In pros, please, professionals, if you're watching this, although I highly doubt you are, if you are, stop picking Lucian Nami. Pick something that's like a bit more variety, and pick like Soraka. It's so much better. It's unbelievable. Anyways, I'll hop off my grandstand, my bandbox, whatever the fuck I'm trying to say. Nocturne. Nocturne is, yeah, there you go. Thank you. Yep. So Nocturne, his soapbox. Yep. The base attack speed is being increased, and his passive cooldown is decreased. The passive cooldown is decreased by 1 second, which is further reduced by 1 second every time you auto a minion, or 3 seconds when you auto a champion or a jungle monster. So this doesn't really change all that much, but the attack speed ratio is being increased, his base attack speed from 0.66 to 0.7. Doesn't do all that much because you're not building Nocturne on hit. I would hope you're not building Nocturne on hit. You're either building him Lethality Assassin, or you're building him tanky bruiser-ish with Stride Breaker and like Force of Nature and, I don't know, Ravenous Hydra maybe or some shit. I don't know. But they're trying to increase the viability of mid lane Nocturne or top lane Nocturne. But mid Nocturne was already being played in pros. It was played in LEC playoffs a couple times. I remember. It's been played a couple times in LCK playoffs. I don't know about the other major regions, but if it's already being picked somewhat, this will only increase the prevalence of it, and especially where there's so much skirmishing and vision is so important, as it always is in pros. Nocturne, like it's hilarious to listen to comms of teams when they're facing a Nocturne ult. Everyone's just all screaming, "I can't see! I can't see!" Like, no shit, you can't see. That's Nocturne ult for you. Like, why don't? It's funny how they don't communicate like, "Oh, Nocturne's right here," or "He hasn't landed yet," or something. But yeah, I don't know. He might be better. This doesn't change anything for solo queue Nocturne, in my opinion, at all. But for pros, maybe. John, do you think this
Yeah,
changes anything?
I agree with your take. I mean, like the numbers are really small changes. Like especially to his attack speed ratio. I mean, it's 1 second off his passive. Like the small buff to jungle I guess slash mid. I don't think it makes a difference really for solo queue at all.
So this may
Mhm.
be a function of other shit that's happened in the patch, but despite what I was saying, his win rate has jumped by 3% in jungle.
I think you guys are sleeping on that attack speed ratio.
But it's not the growth, it's just a flat amount, and he doesn't attack that fast
Or
unless you're getting your W, unless you're hitting the
okay, I
W.
guess now that I think about that, actually
I think
so
that's a
like
lot of
his
attack speed.
yeah, because now that's actually way better for his passive too, because your autos reduce your passive cooldown. So now you're just like you're getting more attack speed for free. So you're gonna be able to not only is the cooldown on the passive 1 second lower, but you're able to proc it faster as well. So actually that might make his clear a good bit better.
I also think like when I think of Nocturne, I feel like he can really carry like mid-game team fights, especially if he has an enchanter behind him. And enchanters are just disgusting right now. If he goes like, I'm assuming he goes Stridebreaker, so he's getting attack speed increase from that. If he goes like
Yeah.
Xerx Greaves, Blade of the Ruined King into just like surviving, I don't know. I think he could two hit some carries late game,
Yeah, I feel like
especially against like a
Stridebreaker Death
Lulu or
Stance.
something.
Yeah. Stridebreaker Death Stance, like you're just super tanky and you do a lot of damage.
And you definitely run Ghost to stay on top of people.
Yeah, and you get a lot of ability haste from that build too, because you get ability haste from Stridebreaker and Death Stance.
I will say Lethality Nocturne is probably not any better. Maybe slightly better, but it's basically the same as it was before, in my opinion, except for the early clear a little bit. I don't know. I don't think that. I honestly don't think that. Yes, he got buffs, so his win rate went up because of that. But I think more of this is just that it's a function of people playing him more, and he fits the meta more. That's what my take on it is. I don't think it's because of these buffs, but I could be wrong. It has happened at least once in the past that I can think of. So
Yeah, I might have to give him a whirl, see how he feels.
he's fun to play. I like playing him.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Next, Rel. Fenrir, you want to cover Rel?
Yeah. So her W dismount movement speed is increased, E cooldown is flat. Water scales down. Yeah, so it's just a flat 13 seconds. The move speed while dismounted, I think, is pretty huge. That's tier 1 boots is what she's getting for movement speed, just for like perspective. She's still super slow, but her main downfall is if she goes in and misses her combo, she usually dies.
Yeah.
She is just so slow. But this just kind of makes it to where maybe she can reposition just a little bit better before her W comes back up.
I have no. I think you
Oh,
covered it great. I don't have any additional thoughts on Rel. I don't enjoy playing her, and I don't really see her all that much right now.
Yeah, I play her occasionally. I mean, she's fun to me, but I never see her on very rarely.
Yep. Let me just quickly look to see what her win rate is. 52. Last patch it was 50.5. So these changes must be meaningful. And her pick rate doubled, but it's still only 2.7. So we're not talking about a shitload of new people picking her up. It's just former people who knew
it's
how to play Rel. Yeah.
it's a combination with the Evan Shroud buff as well.
Yeah, because that's been her item since
Very
it was
good.
released.
She is an Evan Shroud. I mean, she is Evan Shroud basically.
Yeah.
Her
Yeah.
entire kit is CC.
Exhibit A.
Yeah, I love Rel. She's so much fun. She's just hard to play in solo queue.
She is.
Agreed.
All right, Renekton. So his Q base damage is decreased and the AD scaling is increased. So like I said, that's literally it. Both for the normal damage and for the furious damage. Although the percent bonus AD ratios are up by 20% each when it's empowered or not, respectively. The base damages are down by 15 at max rank for the unempowered and 30 for the furious unempowered. Not for solo queue. This is very clearly for pro play because Renekton has been popping up because other stuff has been buffed and he kind of fits the meta. But I'm fine with this. This doesn't change anything for our environment, and he'll still be picked because no one's gonna respect that this changes all that much. Cool.
That's it.
All right, Fenrir. Let's talk about your favorite your favorite change of the
Yeah.
patch. Set. Why don't you cover it for us, man?
I'm so excited. I love this champion. It's so much fun. So WAD ratio is increased and E slow is increased. So the W change isn't like massive, especially for what I want to play him and support. But for top lane, this is the largest percent per 100 bonus AD that his W's ever been at. It's even higher than release.
Oh
So
wow.
if you go like some crazy,
Insane.
I don't know, just super high AD builds with like Bork, Stridebreaker, with Sterix, I mean his W will one shot carries in the mid game team fights for sure. And then the big change to me is definitely the slow, 50 to 70%. It doesn't sound like a lot, but another 20% on top of it. It almost means that you never have to guarantee stun somebody because 70% of the game is basically a stun.
Yeah. This has caused a 2% increase in his win rate in top lane. In support, his win rate has gone down, but it now has enough games for a data point. It's 44.8. It's still 560 matches. It has a very low pick rate, so keep that in mind. But, I mean, as the patch goes on, I think this will go up. This is a lot better for support set. Do you think this is going to make support set good, though, Fenrir?
Well, so back to what I was talking about, the unsealed spellbook.
Okay.
Set support is good in the hands of somebody that is willing to play like an absolute maniac. You cannot just kind of sit around and play like a normal support. You have to take Hex Flash, you have to take Flash, and you have to take Spellbook. You are flashing as soon as you have EW level 2. It doesn't matter if they get level 2 first. You have to push the limits of this champion completely to the top. And then you take Spellbook, you roam top lane, you Hex Flash, and then you TP back bot lane.
I like it.
Or TP top lane. You have to impact the map with this champion more than most champions to really get the full value out of his kit. But if he gets ahead, especially as a support, he is very scary.
Yeah. When there's like a fed set running around with your jungler, like it's so scary. So scary. You can't like face pick anything.
And that's why I like him in support too. Like you were saying, the ability to roam with his jungler. I mean, you win every 2v2 guaranteed. It doesn't
Oh yeah.
matter.
Yeah, his skirmishing is so good. So good.
He can just face tank and then he W's for half their health bar, and then your
Yep.
jungler cleans it up.
Yep. No, I love
Set
playing with set support.
is the he is the true like it is okay if you go like 0-10 because you will be forever useful.
Yeah. He's the Giga Chad support champ.
He is the Giga set. Okay. Well, I'm excited to see it. It's fun when I get to see set support. I like it. But yeah. Okay. John, you want to cover Sivir getting another nerf?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm honestly kind of happy because then now I can actually maybe play her. So AD growth is decreased by 0.2, so very little. W bounce AD ratio decreased. Um, looks like a nudge down by 5 at all levels. I mean, she needed a nerf. She was just insanely strong, in my opinion. I think she was like, as far as like before this patch, she was like the top 80 carry. She was picked in pro a ton. Like, I mean, she was just really strong. She needed a nerf. I still think she's pretty good. I mean, I still think she's good. Probably, if I had to guess, she's probably like at a 50% win rate,
So
if not higher.
last patch, she had a 21% pick rate and a 51.96, so effectively 52% win rate. This patch, her pick rate has fallen to 15% and her win rate has fallen to 48 as of now.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's been ever since they changed her. She's been really strong. So I mean, I think it's needed.
She seems like apparently she has a bad matchup into Misfortune, and Misfortune is running everywhere right now, so that probably impacts why her win rate is so low. Plus,
Yeah,
also
makes
in
sense.
solo queue, you can't guarantee you get to the late game, but in pro play right now, they will still get to the late game, so she'll still reach her item points.
Yeah, I feel like with Sivir anyway, like with Sivir, I'm just trying to like poke with my Q and then just get a massive like CS advantage. I feel like she's like the easiest AD carry to do that with because you
Yeah.
can once you get enough damage, you can just QW and then the wave's gone. You don't miss any of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, much I think just needed nerfs. So I'll probably play her a bit more when I'm playing ADC because she's one of my most played AD carries. So
Okay. Cool. Oh, sorry, I didn't need to move on yet. Fenrir, any other thoughts on Sivir, or did we basically cover everything you were thinking?
I think she needs more, but let's move on.
Okay, cool. Silas, base health decreased by 20 and Q cooldown increased by 1 second at all ranks. This is just maybe going to push Silas into being the conditional pick that he should be, because he's only should be an answer to team comps when they're picking ults like Hecker Immult, Alistair. I mean, there's so many that we could name. I don't even need to go into a whole bunch more. But Silas should be an answer, not a blind pick, and right now he's a blind pick in pro play, so they don't want that. And this addresses that somewhat, although I don't think it'll fully do it.
yeah, it's fair. I mean, I think that he's been strong. I mean, he's like even just like playing against him in solo queue, he feels oppressive when he gets the lead.
Yeah. Silas, 48% win rate right now with a 14% pick rate, so he's not doing well. Last patch, 50% win rate with a 15% pick rate. So pick rate's almost the same, and his win rate is down by 1.5. A successful nerf is what I would say.
Yep. Yep.
All right, Tarek getting nerfed. Base magic damage decreased by 4, and the E cooldown is increased by 1 at all ranks. This does nothing for jungle Tarek. If you're playing jungle Tarek, this changes nothing, because you're constantly using abilities and refreshing your abilities, so this cooldown is negligible, and your MR only Gromp does magic damage to you, so that doesn't really matter, and you're healing through it anyways. And then you're building tank items, so it doesn't matter. Support, I would think that this makes a difference, perhaps. Fenrir, what do you think?
So at first I thought this like meant absolutely nothing. So I went to a Reddit post to a Tarek support Grandmaster One Trick, and he basically said that the reason why this nerf is coming through is because Neela Tarek is super OP, and mages are good into Neela, but mages
Oh,
can't kill Tarek. So they're just trying to like increase his, I guess not increase, decrease his ability to survive the lanes against like enchantresses and AP mages.
gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, all of
So all
Tarek's.
in all, it just feels like a no change.
Yeah, this is
Yeah, pretty much everyone.
it makes sense. Like you're saying, this is a Neela change, not a Tarek change. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it makes sense.
All right. Well, maybe if Neela Tarek is so OP, the pros will start picking it, because right now they're still not picking Tarek with Neela hardly ever, from what I saw. They're picking Alistair, they're picking Nautilus when it's up, maybe. They're
Yumi.
picking, yeah, Yumi with her, which
And
sounds terrible. I don't know. Maybe Set will get picked with Neela. I think that would be a good matchup.
isn't like
That set
a
up bot lane.
Lucian set like a really good combo?
So yeah, basically you
Okay,
want to take any AD carry that can just like one shot the enemy, level ones
gotcha.
through three.
So
So that's kind of like
Misfortune.
Raven, Lucian,
Misfortune, yeah.
Misfortune's
Draven.
good, but the best bot lane, and I played this before it became a thing in the LPL, is Senna set bot lane. Set farms. Senna is she does like her non-farming bullshit strategy that she gets to do, and Set just kind of becomes this mediator from early game to mid game that Senna doesn't really have, to just kind of allow her to become that late game carry.
That makes sense. And does he probably builds like full tank then? Yeah.
Yeah, so I go if I'm going that route, I'm going the like the Iceborne Gauntlet, whatever it's called now,
Yep.
and then like just trying to get as much frontline ability to protect the Sentinels if possible.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to try that sometime. I like playing Senna.
I love Senna. It's a lot of fun.
Have fun. I don't really enjoy playing either of those champions. I'll jungle for you guys. Or I'll
Anything
play.
set involved, I am down to play.
I'll play Xerath in mid lane, and then you're like, oh, we're fighting, and then I'll just stand behind my turret and press R and help from across the map. That sounds good.
Yeah.
You'll see me
I'll
X flash behind your enemy's raptors, and I'll ult into you.
Love it. All right. Well, popular jungler Trundle is also getting nerfed, so rejoice! You can play Graves now again, John.
Yeah.
W cooldown increased at all ranks. It's increased by 3 seconds at all ranks. That is a big deal in team fights. You're probably not getting 2 casts of it off now. You're probably only getting 1. And this is his second max typically. So, yep, in the like for clearing the jungle, this doesn't make a difference. In top lane, if you're playing Trundle top, this also makes a difference. But I mean, this feels like a worthy nerf. Trundle has been good for like 2 years. This feels
Yeah.
fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's just felt insanely oppressive into just like OP. I feel like for a while, and then into certain teams, like literally just unplayable. Like in the tanky teams that are like melee heavy. I mean, the game is unplayable if Trundle has 1 kill or if he's ahead at all. I mean, it was insane. I mean, he could, and same with top lane. Like he doesn't have a ton of really bad matchups,
No.
and his level 1 is absolutely absurd. He
Yeah.
has really good laning, I think,
His his win rate dropped by 3% because of this. His pick rate also went down, but it went down. He dropped by 3% win rate. I didn't expect that large of a drop. Yikes.
I didn't either.
So I think,
but
to me, I'm not a jungler player, but I think that the most OP stat on junglers is movement speed, and he gets a lot of movement speed from this.
He
yeah,
does.
it's true.
He
So he
gets
can't really move around the map as fast as he used to be able to.
20 to 52% move speed is what he gets, and 30 to 110% attack speed. In this blurb, right, it says they were doing this because because they thought Q into W into E max was a problem, but because W into Q max was a problem. I've never tried W max because I've just been doing Q max. It does a lot of damage, and you constantly are using it, so it made sense. But W max, I can see how that's a problem. Like level 7 having like 45% move speed on a 12-second cooldown, 25% increased healing, and like 90% attack speed. Like I totally get why that's a problem.
There was I know for a period of time too, like there was what was like super good with lethal tempo was to go uh rush Bork and then go Sunfire and then go lethal tempo, and then your W is just always up. You're auto attacking so fast, and like you're so tanky because that was when Sunfire was kind of strong, so it was just good on him because of that. But yeah, I think this needed to happen for a while. He's just been really oppressive. Like if he gets any kind of lead in the early game,
You can't touch him.
feels literally you cannot 1v1 him. You just cannot ever fight him.
And you were barely able to 1v1 him potentially before.
Ever. Yeah. There's only like a few champs that I can think of offhand that could like 1v1 him early.
And they're
like, at
probably
level 3 or
magic
4.
dealing champions.
Yeah. Range, magic. That's like what basically thrives in the Trundle. Like range, magic damage with CC. Like he can't play the game if that's the case, but
Brand, Morgana, Lilia are the ones I can think of that would actually be able to handle him.
Yeah, and then like you're saying, he's just the movement speed too is just absurd that he gets the attack speed and the movement speed. But I think this is a good change. Probably hit him a little harder than intended, but I mean I'm okay with that for how long he's been good. I mean
he also shouldn't be blind pickable. Like this is fine to make him 49%. He should be a response pick, just like how we were talking about Silas.
Yeah, like if the enemy team picks like Rammus, Scion, and then like a tank support or something, like Trundle is so OP.
Yep.
But yeah, he shouldn't be good against just everything.
Yeah. So, okay. TF. getting buffed. Q AP ratio increase and the W mana cost decrease. So his Q does 10% more on the AP ratio, and the W is now 10. Oh, it was so it's 10 cheaper at rank 1 and 30 cheaper at rank 5. This still doesn't change anything though, because TF is a essentially utility. He builds Everfrost, he builds Rapid Fire, he builds Zanyas, then he'll maybe, like, I don't know what he build after that. Like he maybe build a Cosmic Drive, perhaps. He might build Oblivion Orb. He could build more attack speed. He could get a Gnasher's Tooth to do objectives better or something, like turrets and stuff. But he's not building hard AP. You're not building Luden's Echo, Shadow Flame, Death Cap. You're not building like a Vex or anything. So this doesn't really change anything for me for how they're
Feel-
playing in Pro.
Yeah, I think in Pro, I mean, it's just a little buff. I think for Pro, it'll be nice. I don't know. I guess like you're saying, you're basically like you're a gold card stun scale guy who can roam, But I don't know. I think the AP ratio could be nice because that'll like if you're facing a Fed TF, like he will one shot you though. Because so like I feel like he can get more quickly to that point maybe with this. I mean, 10% AP ratio is pretty. That's not bad. It's not bad, but
No, it's
I
not.
mean, it's not insane though either, like you were saying.
But TF at 3 items probably has 150 AP. So
Yeah, I
this
guess at
doesn't
the end
do
of the
anything
day, yeah,
for
at
him.
the end of the day, you're not picking TF for the damage anyway.
No,
You're
if
picking
you
it
if
for
you
the
are,
for
you're
the
picking him
utility.
for the wrong reasons.
Right. I just think I guess the main thing with this is the W mana cost
Yeah.
is nice because for it mentioned it in the little riot blurb like his his Q and stun card or his stun card and his rig card cost a good bit, so it'll just make it so it's a little better for laning. Like he won't have as much mana problems, I guess. But I mean, small change. Pro focus.
Yep.
I don't play a whole lot of TF, so
Yeah, I don't
I
either.
don't know.
Except
I
in
don't think it'll
ARAM, it's
make that
fun
big a
to
difference.
backdoor.
Yeah, I love playing ARAM TF. Yeah, that was dirty the other day.
Oh yeah. Who did
Who
that?
did
We were.
that? Someone did that.
Oh right. We were in customs. Yeah, we were doing
Yeah, we kept going
community
back and
night.
forth. Yeah,
Yeah, that was such a long one. And then
it's like a
I
40-minute
typed in
ARAM.
chat to this guy like, hey, let them push and then you ult. He's like, okay, 40 seconds. So then at that point we were all like, hey, let's let NASA stack. So I was saying like, yeah, go ahead, let NASA stack, so that we slowly move up instead of getting pushed too far back. A team fight starts. He just ults in behind, kills. The Nexus had like 2 hits on it, so, or not the Nexus turret, only had 1 left and had like 100 health, so he hits it for 2 and then just ends the game. It was like sweet. It was awesome. Even for you and everyone else who lost it, like everyone was like, oh, okay, that's kind of fun.
Yeah, that was a long ARAM too. We were just like, that was a fun one for
Yeah.
sure.
Yep. Okay, Wukong, last champion getting changes, and then there's a few items getting some changes. So Wukong base attack speed decreased a little bit, and his base move speed decreased by 5. So the attack speed I don't think is that big of a deal, but because he's using his E, and that's his first max in the jungle. Top lane, it might be a bigger deal, but I don't think that's that big of a deal. The move speed, that's a big deal. People like move speed is the most powerful, or one of the most powerful stats. And Fenrir was saying earlier that jungle move speed is the most powerful thing, and to take away 5 base move speed is taking away how fast he moves at all points of the game everywhere. That's a big deal for Wukong. So I'm glad that this is happening. I don't really see it in solo queue. People don't play it all that much anymore in solo queue, but in pro, it is still everywhere. Yeah, let me just see. What did his win rate drop by? Hopefully a lot. So right now his win rate is 46.9. I love it. With a
I'm okay with
5%
that.
with a 3% pick rate, and then it was 49.8. So he dropped by a lot. Some of this is probably overreaction, but still, I'm fine with this. Get rid of Wukong out of the jungle. Totally fine.
Yeah, I'm so okay with that. I'm glad because Wukong jungle was actually pretty good against Rengar too.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, I thought I like that they moved him into the jungle, but I mean, he was just like really strong for a while, and it was um. So I think these are needed nerfs.
Yeah. So now Wukong's not going to R and stop any of your engages, Fenrir.
Yeah, I wish his champion was like 33% win rate.
I wish he had one R instead too.
Why do they both not? No, I don't even get started.
All right, let's not get him started because this is already running long. So systems changes. Stopwatch is 100 gold more expensive. It's just stopwatch stuff, so I'll just run through all of it and then we can talk about them all together. Stopwatch 100 gold more expensive, and the free stopwatch with the rune perfect timing will still only contribute 250 towards a stopwatch item. Guardian Angel combined cost up 100 to reflect the change in stopwatch. The total cost is up by 200. To reflect the change. There's no effective changes. It's just it costs now. It costs 750 to buy it, so 100 extra for the stopwatch, and then 100 extra to finish the item. AD is up by 5 to compensate that though for GA. Zanya's also is getting 5 more ability haste, 15 more AP, and is costing, I think that's 400 more. So now it's 3,000 as opposed to being 2,600 at cheap as shit. And Seeker's Arm Guard is giving 30 AP as opposed to 20. I believe this is when you fully stack it up. Yep, but so holistically, this feels appropriate. Stopwatches, we don't want League of Stopwatch, and it was kind of getting to that point again. Zanya's is better when you complete it. It feels a lot better, and it's worth the gold more now. GA feels good as well, but I will say GA is overbought. A lot of a lot of characters who buy GA don't come out of GA being very good. So, like if Sivir wakes up from a GA, she's basically just ready to get murdered again. As opposed to if you play Camille with a GA, that's a lot different of a champion with a wake up. So, yeah. But overall, I'd say good changes. Fenrir's nodding. John is silently approving of me. Cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. And
I just wish they didn't add anything to the Zanyas. I
yeah. Agreed.
feel like this item needs to be 3,500 gold
really?
for how good it is. I think it's very annoying that people can buy this item, and I think it'd be okay to have the stats if they would make it pause everything about your champion. All of your cooldowns stay on cooldown. They don't decrease while you're Zanyas. I think that is the most problematic part of the item.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That sounds fine to me, but then you can't increase the cost anymore.
I think the
No.
cost should be more expensive too, though.
Yeah, but as it currently sits, I think it should have no stats comparatively to what the stats are, and it should cost. I'd be okay with 3,000 if it gave like 30 AP.
What I would say
Because you're not
is
buying it for the AP.
True.
You're not buying it for the
Yeah.
ability.
True, you're
Yes,
not.
You're buying it for the active.
What
yeah,
I would
the AP component should not feel good to build on this item, in my opinion.
what I would say, well, the AP stuff, the stuff you're sitting on doesn't feel good. I will say the completion now feels better. But what I would say is this item should be. I would say they should remove the armor entirely from all aspects of it and leave the rest of the stats alone. That would be fair. And then add more AP items that give you armor. Add items that do this to the shop. So that Zanya's isn't, oh, I need armor and I have an AP. I guess I'll build Zanya's because that's the only thing and it's valuable always. No, it should be situational based on your champion and the game state. It should not be a go-to all the time, except for specific champions.
Yeah, to me, it just seems like a way to double dip into like being really good against a bursty AD champion. Like you buy this item and they literally cannot play the game. Like
The
I
last
just think that's
time,
kind of dumb.
the last time assassins were running everywhere was before stopwatch was introduced. Shocking.
Yeah. And then I mean it's the same thing like I mean I'm not advocating for Master Yi, but like I mean you realistically buy Zanya's Master Yi literally just cannot target you. Like he just can't. Because then he's not going to be able to get all like his max value out of his kit. Like champions like that, like Zed, like you literally cannot target that champion, and then like when you have like 3 people building it, and then the support going like perfect timing as well, like it's just I don't know. It just seems like it doesn't have much counterplay.
Yeah. So, no notable ARAM balance adjustments I looked at. Ultimate Spellbook is it's still here. They've made adjustments to that. If you play that, you can go read those. There's Clash coming up. Challenges have been slightly changed. I forgot to look at bug fixes. Did you guys note anything that? Oh, I see one here that I see. Fix a bug that caused Draven's R execute passive to still execute enemies through spell shields. That's a problem. Oh my god.
Yeah. Let's see. I saw one earlier. That was kind
Fenrir,
of
you
funny.
nodded your head. Which one did you see?
Yeah, they fixed the Hex Flash bug, so we should have Hex Flash in Worlds. It was a bug where fixed a bug where using certain abilities after casting Flash would disable Hex Flash and Flash.
Oh my god.
Yeah, fix a bug where Set's ultimate would disable
Yeah.
opponent's Hex Flash and Flash for the remainder of the game. Oh my gosh. That's insane.
Hey, set OP, I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
the other one I saw, I didn't even know that this is a bug. Fixed a bug that caused Pike's R to go on cooldown if the enemy was killed by another ally. I thought that was just how it was
Yeah.
supposed to work.
Well,
Yeah, that happened to me the other day.
it depends because if if you cast if Pike casts his R on someone that is then killed by someone, but if it was close enough, like there's a slight delay where if you're almost about to execute them, then you still get the refresh. However,
Okay.
if let's say you're about to cast it and they die, and there's a long enough buffer there, then you're outside that buffer zone, then it would go on cooldown. This is fixing those cases where like a tenth of a second the target gets killed before you use the Pike R, and you should get the refresh and you should get the gold from it.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, I thought the only other one I saw that was kind of funny was fix a bug where champions could cast Flash while charmed if they casted Heal or Ghost.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah, it's just that I feel like the instances of that happening though are so small.
That's
like you'd have to do that by like pure chance, right?
That's an Ari buff. Because then you just like ADCs. Oh, they charm an ADC. You just press heal flash. Boom, gone.
Yeah, but I feel like normally like an ADC wouldn't like, unless they're just like, oh no, this is the oh shit button. Let me push everything kind of deal. You know.
Sure.
I feel like that's like the circumstance where that probably happened.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just thought that was kind of funny.
Yep. Skins all of them look very cool. Although the Lee Sin one in-game model doesn't look great, I will say, when I saw it on Skin Spotlights. But
yeah, I agree. I like King Viego a lot. I think the chromas for that one looks sick.
It does, and it's a lore skin, which I love even more because I love the lore of this universe. Yeah.
Yeah, that skin I might have to get. That one's pretty awesome.
He's got some Kingdom Hearts vibes going on.
Yeah, he does. That's a great game too, by the way.
I haven't ever played it, but I've heard good things.
Oh man, I think you would like that game, man. That's like one of my favorites.
What genre is it?
Kind of like, or what would you say, Henry?
Final Fantasy.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say just.
It's a turn-based attacker.
I like those. There's no mechanics required. I like it.
Well, but it has
like Disney.
But it has mechanics though a little bit.
Yeah.
Like slightly. So it's like Final Fantasy. It's almost like turn-based, but it does have small.
Oh, is this like Paper Mario where you can press A during an animation at a specific spot to activate extra damage or an effect on like the jump or something?
Like
okay.
There is stuff like that, definitely. You would like that game, dude. And I'm pretty sure it's on sale on Steam. Like I beat and played the first 2, and like they were some of my favorite games.
Gotcha. Okay. Well,
there's some Final Fantasy characters in there too.
Yep. I was also big on Final Fantasy X. Was like I only played a couple Final Fantasy games, but
the only Final Fantasy I've played is the one that I've heard is like the least like a normal Final Fantasy and people hate, which is Final Fantasy 13. That one apparently is not like any others, and I don't know, but I found it decently fun until it just was too long. I will say, it's too long of a game, but anyways, we could talk about Final Fantasy another time. We're like 2 hours and 10
Yeah.
minutes, so let's wrap this shit up, gentlemen. So this was episode number 780. If you have questions or suggestions, feel free to email us at questions@trinityforcepodcast.com, or you can drop them in the feedback channel in our Discord server. Our Discord server can be found in the it can be found on our website, and a link to our website will be in the podcast description. You can also find links directly to our Discord or our website in the YouTube for this video that will be uploaded in a few days or so. And then, yeah, we will reconvene next week and talk about whatever the hell we're going to talk about. So thanks for joining me, guys, and thanks for tuning in, everyone. This has been episode 780. Take it easy.
Peace.